Welcome to Larry's Library. This week, or rather this month's top 10, because it is Top 10 Tuesday, is going to be my top 10 most wanted dream hardcovers. So what is a dream hardcover? Well, they're primarily omnibuses, but it could be an absolute. It could be a gallery edition. Basically, any of those great big hardcovers that you know I love if you've been to this channel before. And if not, welcome to the channel, and please hit subscribe so you don't miss anything coming up. So I'm going to get right into it. Starting at number 10 in my own personal wish list for something that has not been collected in a great big hardcover, to my knowledge anyway, and I want it to be real bad because I would buy it. And at number 10, it's DC's Arak, Son of Thunder. Now, this would take, let's see, I think you could get it in, well, it'd be 2 omnibuses is what it would be. Omnibus number 1 would, I got the mappings kind of worked out a little bit here. It would be the first appearance, which was Warlord 48 of Arak. That was the first appearance of Arak. And then it would be the first 25 issues of the series. Now, anyone unfamiliar, this series ran from, this was at DC, and it ran from 1981 to 1985. It was 50 issues long. And this was written by a husband and wife team, Roy and Dan Thomas. And it had really great art in it by Ernie Colin and Tony, let's see if I get this pronunciation right, Tony DeZuniga, and some other people were involved. But that was the main 2 artists, I think, and at least the ones I read. I actually bought these as they came on the stand, when it first came out. I didn't, follow it to its conclusion. Wish I had. I've always regretted not seeing how that run ended. But, yeah, so I would love to have 2 nice omnibuses cover this whole thing. So like I said, Omnibus 1 would be about 620 pages. And number 2 would have 26 through 50 and the annual. They had 1 annual for this. It'd be about 620 pages. So it'd be 2 really moderately sized DC Omnis would cover this. And yeah, I would really love to have that. So that's number 10. Now at number 9, what I would love to have is an absolute Sword of the Atom. Now, Sword of the Atom was a DC series from the early 80s. It was a couple, I think it was a couple miniseries and a couple specials. And it was written by Jan Stranad. When I was a little kid, I used to pronounce it Dan Strand. S-T-R-N-A-D. Can't be Strand, but that's how my mind worked it out. But it's Jan Stranad. Anyway, and with beautiful art by Gil Kane. And I think that would really benefit from a nice, beautiful, absolute edition. It would come out to about 240 pages with covers. There actually exists a really crappy trade paperback. It's still in print, I think. You can get that on Amazon, but I don't want a little trade paperback. So that's number 9, Sword of the Atom, Absolute Edition. Number 8 in my dream hardcovers, top 10, would be Submariner Omnibus. Take 3 volumes to cover it all. I believe the series ran from, I think it was about 70 some odd issues. And this ran from 1968 to 1974. Most of it was written by Roy Thomas, and most of the art was by John Buscema and Marie Severin. Great stuff. Yeah, and they would have to include some crossover bits from different issues and some from different series. There's a couple Marvel team-ups they'd have to put in there. I think a Marvel 2-in-1 perhaps. Yeah, so there'd be some other stuff in here. Might even stretch it out to 4 volumes. It's possible. And especially, they could probably even go 5 volumes if they included all the miniseries that happened in the late 70s, early 80s. And then there was a couple series in the 2000s. So if they packed it all in there, you could get 5 volumes of Submariner if you tried. 5 omnibus level volumes of Submariner. And I'd probably get them all. I'm a big Submariner fan. Not crazy about the footage we've seen of Submariner from the new Black Panther film that's coming up. Ugh, does not look like my Submariner. But what are you going to do? So that's number 8. Number 7 is another collection that exists right now as a trade paperback. It's a really crappy trade paperback, and I'm talking about Weird World Warriors of the Shadow Realm. Yeah, like I said, I owned that trade paperback, and it sucked. It sucked bad because the art was sucked up into the binding, the gutter, and it was tremendous gutter loss. I mean, just horrible. That beautiful art desecrated like that. Yeah, it was terrible. I got rid of that thing. I still have a few of the actual issues that this thing came from, and this is Marvel in the late 70s. It was Doug Minch wrote them all, and it had just great art by Mike Plug and Pat Broderick and John Buscema. This would collect Marvel Premiere 38, material from Super Action number 1, Marvel Fanfare 24 through 26, Marvel Super Special 11 through 13, Epic Illustrated, 9, 11 through 13. It'd be about 330 pages altogether. And I'm saying we make a gallery edition out of this. Big, beautiful, Weird World gallery edition. That's what I want. And that's my pick for number 7. Number 6 in my countdown of Dream hardcovers, I want ElfQuest, the original Epic Years Omnibus. And one of these would hold it all. This is Wendy and Richard Penny, another husband and wife team. This ran for 32 issues in the early 80s, the old Epic line. So this Omni would be a little over 1,000 pages. It'd be about 1,032 pages from the way I calculated. And it would be great because this thing has been printed and reprinted over the years many, many times, but only in the black and whites, and mostly in giant, compendium soft covers. What I'd like to have here, and this is another one that will probably never happen. That's why it's a Dream hardcover. It'll probably never happen because Marvel doesn't own this. I think right now they're being published at, I don't know if it's Dark Horse or Image, but either way, nobody's making a big, beautiful hardcover, and they're certainly not doing it in color, which is what I would have in this. The Epic line published these stories in color, and so that's why this would be ElfQuest, the original Epic Years Omnibus. And that's my pick for number 6. Number 5 in the countdown is a pretty obscure little title. And this collection actually exists as a trade paperback right now. But I don't want that. And so I may be one of 10 people on planet Earth that want this thing. So it's probably not going to happen. It's a dream. And that is Skull the Slayer Gallery Edition. Now, this was a property from Marvel in the late 70s. Bill Mantlo was writing, and Marv Wolfman and Steve Englehart, and some great art by Steve Gann and Sal Buscema, Ernie Chan, and probably a few others. But this thing was one of those throw anything at the wall and see if it sticks late 70s things that Marvel and DC did famously. And I loved it. It involved time travel and dinosaurs and all that stuff that really get me going. And yeah, I loved every minute of it. It ran for 8 issues. And then the story actually concluded in Marvel 2-in-1, 35 and 36. So that's what I would put in this, plus all the beautiful covers. And it'd be about 230 pages. Make a nice gallery edition. Like I said, a trade paperback exists right now on Amazon, but I'm talking about a gallery edition. So, at number 4 in my countdown of Dream hardcovers, I would put the Micronauts. Another impossible ask because Marvel doesn't own the rights to Micronauts anymore. I think IDW probably still owns it. I know they did a little bit with it before, but they never made a big, beautiful omnibus to contain it all. And actually, this would take 2 omnis. This series ran at Marvel from 1976 to 1986. There were 2 series. The first series was, was 59 issues long. And Bill Mantlo wrote all of it. He had beautiful art in there by Michael Golden and Pat Broderick, and then later Butch Guice and some other people. Just tremendously great stuff. Then the second series was Micronauts' New Voyages, and that was written by Peter Gillis, mostly with art by Kelly Jones. Good stuff there, too. Anyway, how I'd map this is Omnibus Volume 1 would be issues 1 through 39 plus annuals 1 and 2. And that'd be about 980 pages. And then Volume 2, Micronauts the original Marvel Years Volume 2 Omnibus would be, it'd be issues 40 through 59, the X-Men and Micronauts Limited Series, 1 through 4, and then the second series, which was 20 issues long, be about a little over 1,000 pages. So this would be a lot thicker one, but that would take care of all of it then. Now, at number 3 in my dream hardcovers would be ROM, the original Marvel Years Omnibus, and it would take 2 of them to hold it all. I believe I have it mapped as 2. Yeah. This was from 1979 to 1986. Bill Mantlo wrote all of this, the entire series, and Sal Buscema did almost all of the art. The last 15 issues or so, Steve Ditko finished up. But yeah, I love this thing, and another one that's a dream because Marvel does not own the rights to ROM. I think IDW got that one too. I don't know why a relatively small company like IDW gets all these properties and Marvel's just like, it's okay, we don't need that anymore. But anyway, Volume 1 would be about 1,022 pages, and that would hold issues 1 through 40, Annual 1 and 2, and Power Man and Iron Fist 73, which was a little crossover there. I have the single, it's pretty great. And then ROM, the original Marvel Years Volume 2 Omnibus, would be issues 41 through 75, Annuals 3 and 4, Avengers 244 and 245, which had a little crossover there, and then Uncanny X-Men 187 or 188, I believe, was the crossover there. And now, so the second Omni here would be about 978 pages. Perfect. At number 2 in my dream hardcover list is Shogun Warriors, the original Marvel Years Omnibus. Now this would be sort of a little mini bus because this only ran for 20 issues. So it'd be about 460 pages with covers. This was from 1979, 1980. Doug Minch wrote the whole thing with beautiful art by Herb Trimpe. Loved every minute of it. Long before Transformers was a thought in anyone's head, we had Shogun Warriors, and to me that was the real deal. Yeah. So that's number 2 in my countdown. Number 1, the thing I would love to have more than anything in a dream hardcover is another one that's a big ask and probably ain't going to happen because Marvel doesn't have the rights to this and they don't seem very interested in getting it. I think this was collected in a trade paperback, probably Marvel Essentials, and I don't know if it was black and white or color, but it's out there somewhere. I'm not sure how they were able to do that. Maybe they had the rights when that came out. I don't know, but they don't have it now. And I'm talking about Godzilla, the original Marvel Years Omnibus. This would be another sort of little mini bus because it only ran for 24 issues. This was 1977 through 79. And this was also by Doug Minch and Herb Trimpe on art. Herb Trimpe on art, Doug Minch writing it. Same team that did Shogun Warriors. Looks like they did this right before they did Shogun Warriors. But anyway, it was great. I loved it. Just fantastic stuff throughout. Dum Dum Dugan and S.H.I.E.L.D. are featured in a lot of these issues. Just great. So it would be 1 through 24. It'd be the entire series. And then Avengers 197 and 198. This would be about 600 pages total. So it'd be a nice size omnibus. Just really nice. Avengers 197, 198. Godzilla is not in those. But a character called Red Ronin is. Which is a giant robot that gets piloted by someone like a Shogun Warrior. And that character came out of the Godzilla series. So it's sort of, I think it would fit in here nicely and needs to be included. So that would be my number 1 dream hardcover. So are any of these things that you guys would want to see in a hardcover? If so, let me know down below. And if not, maybe list your dream hardcovers. What would you like to see collected that is just a dream, either because it can't happen because it's in copyright hell, like a lot of mine, or just won't happen because it's not popular enough, like maybe Skull the Slayer, you know? I don't know. Let me know down below. I'd love to hear it. Now, the Submariners that I'm requesting, I think will happen because Submariner's going to be in the Black Panther film, so they're probably going to happen. I don't know if we'll get 5 volumes like I'm kind of advocating, but I think it might happen. We'll get at least 1. So we'll see. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, don't forget to do that. Ring the bell, notify yourself so you don't miss stuff. And I'll see you in the next one.